Good morning, YouTube. My name is Yanni and I'm an online strength and nutrition coach. So a lot of people have the goal of losing some fat, reducing their fat percentage, and just achieving their body composition goals. So I thought it's a brilliant idea to take you through the Harvest Health blueprint of the fat loss phase. So I have an online coaching business called Harvest Health, and I use two main phases to take people through a successful fat loss phase. So the reason why there's not just one phase, which is the fat loss phase, is because I see so many people jumping straight into an intense calorie deficit. They do it for about 2 weeks and then they feel like they lack self-discipline and they fail. But it's not failure, it's a lack of structure and systems that are actually sustainable. And that is why I've incorporated a second phase into the complete blueprint, which is the first phase. And this phase I call the foundation phase. So essentially, this phase is a phase of collecting data. So data of what you're currently doing, your current habits, current intake, your nutritional habits, your daily routine, your mindset, everything. You just collect data about it so that you know what your starting point is. And from there, you make small changes over time so that it's sustainable. And so that after 2 weeks, you don't feel like, oh, I'm such a failure. Why does this always happen to me? I'm such a failure. And you're not. It's just a lack of a structure and a system that actually works for you. All of us are different. All of us have a different daily routine. All of us have different starting habits. And we all have a different starting point and different daily habits. So the goal is to make small changes over time so that you can actually stick to the plan. So as I've said, the first phase is the foundation phase. And we essentially just want to understand what is your current habits. So I'm going to take you step by step through everything that you need to track in this phase. And this phase is typically 1 to 2 weeks. So the goal is to track everything and change nothing. You want to have a clear, accurate picture of what your current habits look like. So I've made a list and I'm going to take you through this entire list. So you are more than welcome to take some notes and do this yourself so that you have a clear picture of what your current habits are before you enter a fat loss phase. So the first list of things that you need to track is regarding your nutrition. So you want to track your intake. So the reason why you're doing that is you want to establish what is your true maintenance calories. Maintenance calories essentially means the amount of food that you can eat and your body weight stays relatively the same. So it is the amount that you burn and the amount that you eat that is more or less the same. So you want to, for example, use MyFitnessPal. That's a really good tracker that I personally use. And you just want to track literally everything that you eat. So don't feel like you need to be perfect. Don't feel like, oh, now I need to eat perfectly. No, you want to get an exact, accurate picture of what is currently happening. So you want to track your intake. Then with that, usually on the app, you can see what is your protein intake, what is your carbohydrate intake, what is your fat intake. So that essentially is being tracked on the, for example, MyFitnessPal app. Then you want to also look at the amount of fiber that you're taking in. Fiber is so important for your gut health, for your overall health, and just digestion, like literally so many things like satiation. So many people think that protein is the only thing that keeps you satiated and full, but fiber is so important, and it is so important for providing essential like vitamins, minerals, all of that stuff. Then you want to track how many fruits and vegetables are you actually eating, how many servings of fruits and vegetables are you eating, and that is actually also where the fiber intake comes in as well. Then you also want to look at your water intake. Are you drinking like 1 glass of water? And that's the water that you throw in your coffee. That doesn't count, by the way. You want to look at how much water you are taking in. Then an important thing is to look at your meal timing. Do you eat breakfast? Do you only eat at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? Do you eat at different times every day? Do you eat basically only at nighttime and then you're like super hungry and just eat everything in your house? Or do you have consistent meal times? Then the next thing, you want to be aware of your snacking habits. Do you just eat small snacks throughout the day, or do you have main meals and snack in between? Like, what is your snacking habits? Then you also want to look at your alcohol intake and also eating out or getting takeaways, stuff like that. Okay, so that is everything in terms of nutrition that you want to track in this foundation phase. So again, it's not trying to be perfect, it's just looking at what is currently happening. Then you want to look at hunger and fullness. So there's a hunger and fullness scale that you can use where 1 is like starving, like you can eat a whole cow, like you are like so hungry, you can literally eat anything now. And 10 is like uncomfortably full, like you just feel sluggish, you feel nauseous, you are like uncomfortably, I'm so sorry, I can't speak now, uncomfortably, sorry about that, full. Okay, so you don't want to be at 1 and you don't want to be at 10, okay? You want to be in a sweet spot, okay? You want to maybe start at like a 3 out of 10, then you are like quite hungry now, so you can eat a meal now, and you want to stop at like 7 out of 10. So that is the sweet spot. You always want to be between 3 and 7 out of 10. So you don't want to get below 3 because then you might overeat once you eat, and you also don't want to be uncomfortably full above a 7 out of 10 because then you're just going to be uncomfortable, okay? And nobody wants that. Then so as I said, what is your hunger before you eat? What is your fullness after you have eaten? Then also cravings. What cravings do you get? What time of the day do you get those cravings? Make notes of that. Then also, do you have emotional eating episodes? Just be aware of that. How many times does that happen? Does it happen at all? Then do you have any habits of late night snacking? Does that happen? Make also note of that. And then also an important thing is satisfaction after meals. So once you've eaten, do you feel satisfied? Do you feel like, oh, this meal was so satisfying? Or do you feel like, because I mean, food is also to be enjoyed. So you want to eat foods that satisfy you, that is delicious, that is nice to eat. So that is regarding hunger and fullness. Then we get to lifestyle. So you want to check, what is my daily step count? How active am I? So how active am I outside of planned exercise? Do I walk a lot? Do I sit the whole day? You want to see, am I only getting in 3,000 steps a day? Am I getting in 10,000 steps a day? So you want to be aware of that, because what I see a lot is people say, okay, cool, I'm going to jump straight into 10,000 steps a day, but they currently get like 500 steps a day or like 1,000 steps a day. That is not a realistic goal. Okay, so yes, that's the first thing. Then also, do you actually exercise? What is your planned exercise? Do you strength train at all? Do you train once a week? Do you train 3 times a week? What is your current exercise habits? Then your sleep. Sleep is so important. So how long are you sleeping? Are you sleeping 5 hours? Are you sleeping 8 hours? Then also your sleep quality. Are you waking up refreshed? Are you waking up tired? So we must look, if you wake up tired, what is your routine before you go to bed? Are you on your phone? Are you reading? Like, why are you waking up tired? We want to look at stuff like that. Also your stress levels and your energy levels throughout the day, make note of that. So yes, it's very important to look at all of these factors because all of them play a role. And then the last thing, what we want to measure is your body metrics. So we want to look at your body weight. How does it fluctuate? So just a note on that, body fluctuations are so normal, especially in women. It can fluctuate from 500 grams up to like 3 kilograms. And it's not necessarily body fat, like you've gained 3 kilograms of body fat overnight. It can be your water levels. It can be food in the digestive system. It can be so many things. Hormones around our menstrual cycle. Like, it can fluctuate so much. So please don't get emotional about a body weight metric. but it's good to monitor what is happening, because if you are losing fat, it will inevitably go down over time, but it will fluctuate from day to day. Then another useful thing to measure is your waist circumference and your hip circumference, and then also taking progress photos. That is so important, because as I've said, like your body weight on the scale doesn't always reflect the truth. So progress pictures are crucial. So that is all of the things that you would want to track. Okay, so during this foundation phase with regards to the progress photos, you aren't necessarily going to see a change, but that is just for in the future if you want to track your progress. Then once you've gathered all of this information, you will see, okay, let's say for example, you tracked your calories and you see your maintenance is, or your average amount of calories over these last 2 weeks were at about, let's say, and everybody's different, let's say for example, it's 2,200 calories. And now you've tracked your body weight and you see that you've tracked it, and let's say you used an app, like for example, I have an app that I use on my coaching clients, and then you can see how the body weight fluctuated. So if it's like a squiggly line, it goes up and down, but over time it's a straight line, you know you're at maintenance. Then you know, okay, awesome, now I know my true maintenance of 2,200 calories is established. If you see that this line over the last 2 weeks went up, you know you're in a surplus. So you're eating more than you are burning. And if you see that it goes down, you're actually in a deficit. So sometimes that does happen because people become more aware of what they're doing. So unconsciously, they're actually eating a bit better. They're actually moving more because they know they're tracking it. So that may also happen. But essentially, if you see that this line over time is straight, obviously with fluctuations, daily fluctuations, you know this is your true maintenance. And why this is so much more effective than using a calorie calculator on Google is because that does not take into account your actual movement throughout the day, like me, like talking with my hands or fidgeting or walking, doing stuff around the house. That all like accounts towards your total daily energy expenditure. And like muscle mass, like that calculator does not take into account your actual muscle mass, all of that stuff. So everybody's different. So yes, you can use that, but it's not as accurate. It's definitely not as accurate as actually using the data over time. So yes, that's also why I recommend doing this. So that was phase 1. So let's say you established, this is my maintenance calories. Then you want to establish, what is my actual goal? Do I want to build muscle, which is extremely important, or do I want to lose fat? So for the sake of this video, let's say you want to lose fat, okay? Let's say you want to lose 3 kilograms, okay? You want to go into a moderate deficit. So why you're not going to go into an extreme deficit is just for the sake of sustainability. Okay, rather go a bit slower and have a few fat loss phases than an extreme deficit, and after 2 weeks you just cannot do this anymore. Okay, so a moderate deficit is a reduction in calories by 15 to 20%. Okay, so let's say for the sake of this video, as I've said, your maintenance is at around 2,200 calories. And again, this is a range. It's not an exact number, it's around 2,200, okay? Your moderate deficit will be around 1,700 to 1,900 calories, okay? So you establish, this is my calorie goal, and then you can also then establish what should your protein intake be. So the recommendation is 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. Okay, so for simplifying it, a very good number that I personally like to use is 2 grams of protein per body weight. So let's say you weigh 60 kilograms, you times that by 2, you multiply it by 2, so your protein goal is 120 grams. So then as you track your nutrition, you see, okay, cool, today I've gotten my 120 grams of protein. The carbs and the fats does not really matter, it's your preference. If you're strength training, which you should be doing, carbs are way more important than fat. Fats you definitely need to take in for other general health benefits. So please do eat fats, but there's not a specific goal. The protein intake is the most important.